Hi, this is a video to show you the features of the depth and sales. What we'll do first is we'll look at the features that are geared towards helping you analyze the market, and then we'll move on to the trading functionality. Now, there are a lot of columns on here. It is customizable. You can switch columns off, you can resize columns, you can move columns around. What we'll look at first, we'll look at the depth. So we can see we've got the 10 levels of market depth here, the bids are here and the offers are here. Now, the amount of depth you see is down to your data provider. It is actually customizable, so if your data provider gives you 20 and you only want to see 10, you can set that. Now, NinjaTrader DOM only shows you 5 levels of depth. That is a restriction of their DOM. It's not anything to do with the data provider. So basically, your data provider is giving you 10, 20, 30 levels of depth. That's what you'll see on the depth and sales. At the top here, and the bottom here with the number in yellow, that is the total depth for the bids and the offers. And what we can do with the depth, we can change the highlighting. By default, it will highlight the inside bid amount. But what we can do is we can actually change it to highlight large bids and large offers. Mostly that is for the scalpers who are quite interested in the actual bids and offers and where the spoofing is. So you can see there, I set that to 1000, and I can see here I've got this level 1220, 1287, 1059 highlighted. The numbers in the middle here are what we call the current trades. We can see at the center we've got highlighted 1594 on the bids, 1594.25 on the offers. That is the inside bid and offer. We can see this goes from pink to green. We've got the green highlight here, we've got a pink highlight here. So these numbers are highlighted. Green highlight means that the offer was traded last. Pink highlight means the bid was traded last. So what I can see in this column on the left, the red numbers, is I'm seeing the sell market orders that have hit into this bid. And on the blue, on the right of that, the blue numbers are the buy market orders that have hit into the offer. Now, what this is showing in the center, this isn't a total number of orders since we were open or since the session was open. This is total this time around. So if we're at a bid offer level, like we're at 94.25 right now, if we move up from there, this 41 will be cleared as we move into a new area. So basically what it does, it gives you an idea of what's hitting into the level this time round, and this is what's kind of primarily that's important when you're about to place a position, looking for iceberg orders, that kind of thing. Now, there is an exception to this clearing, where sometimes what will happen, we might have an iceberg order on the bid here, and it will tick down just for a fraction of a second and then tick back up, just as it did there, perfect timing. Now, when it does that, we don't clear the current trades. It will become evident why not if you actually use this. But basically, we think that if we spend, just 1 or 2 seconds outside of a level and tick back into it, that it really didn't leave. You can actually change the amount of time it spends outside of a level before it will clear. You can set it to 0, set it to a minute, set it to an hour if you want. But we set it at 2.5 seconds. So if you leave a level for 2.5 seconds, come back, it will clear it. Any less than that, it won't clear it. Over on the left here, we have something called the alert column, alert. And that's really, it's not really an alert in that it gives you an audio alert or a chart marker. It's just a place for you to put in some notes. So most traders will analyze the market before they open. They'll look at their levels, and what you do here is you put your levels on the dome so that as you're watching the market move up and down, you've got an eye on your levels and when you're approaching a level, so you don't have to juggle between the charts and the dome. The price column over here, white on grey is a traded price for the session, white on black is a non-traded price, the black on white is the current price, and we also highlight the price when you hover over the depth. And we do that basically because the screen is quite wide if you have all the columns on. And if you're about to trade an order at a price, you want to make sure you're actually clicking in the correct row. This column here, the third column, is the volume profile. This is something that if you're not a scalper or you're not or you're new to order flow, very important for people who are reading the order flow is the volume profile. This is showing the total amount of contracts at each price since the session started. Lots of traders trade just off the volume profile, especially those people who are scalping. Steps in the volume profile are generally quite important. So if we look, we've got 6,000 here, 8,000 here. We can see there's a big step from 6,000 to 2,000. It's a big step from 8,000 to 3,000. A lot of scalpers will look at the area in the middle and then we'll trade off that. There's a histogram, obviously, that gives you an idea of the size without looking at the numbers. We also have here these red numbers here and these blue numbers here. These are also showing us the trades that have hit into the bid and the offer, and we call this a split volume profile. Now if you see, the number here 1264 is actually the sum of these two numbers here, 250 plus 1014. So what we have is as trades go off, we put all the trades that hit the bid here in red because they're sell market orders, all the trades that hit the offer here in blue because they're buy market orders. So you can see the numbers here and here are different because from the ones in the middle, because the middle one is just showing you what's hitting this time round. So we have two views. We've got the what the total is, what the totals hit the bids, and then what's hitting the bids this time round. The numbers here, let me just take off the filter next to the depth. Snapshot filter, let's set to 0. Okay, the snapshot filter, the snapshot column is showing me what happened at each level since the price last ticked up or ticked down. So right now we're at 1594, 1594.25. And since that became the inside bid and offer, we had 54 contracts pulled from this level. We've had 2 contracts added to this level. Now this is a quiet period in the market. This is May the 1st. It's 6 AM Eastern Time. London market's closed. So there's not really a lot going on right now. But what you will see is you might see like 200 bid, 900 traded, and maybe 800 added. Which means that when we started off, we actually had a low bid, but basically they've been adding contracts since we got to this level. So what this snapshot does, it gives you an idea of what the spoofers are doing. So basically if we move up to a level and we see like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 contracts above, what a lot of scalpers will do, they have a kind of photographic memory. They will remember that at 94.50 there were 3,000, at 94.75 there were 4,500, 95 there were 3,000. A lot of us don't have that kind of photographic memory to then look at those prices again 5 minutes later and see what's still there. So we'll actually use this column to see when they're pulling out of the way. So we can see at the inside offer here 59 contracts have been pulled, so they're kind of pulling out of the way a little bit. Now you don't use this all of the time, but when you do see a lot of size trading, you do look out for them starting to pull there. And what you're also looking for is as you trade into a level, you want to see as you trade into a level, are they actually adding orders to there? Because if there's an iceberg order at a level, you'll see contracts trade into it, you'll see the bid or the offer at a constant level, but what will tip your hand is actually how much has been added to that level. And if they keep adding contracts to a level, then that's quite a good sign that that level will hold. And what we can also do, we can also show a histogram of that picture. So we've got the bids here and we've got the pulling on the bids, the offers here and the pulling on the offers. What we can also do, if I just pull the settings box across, is we can say I'm going to show the order and snapshot histogram. And what that will show us, above here, these red columns, this shows us the offers. Down here, this shows us the bids. And then we can see this tiny little bar in the middle here, which is showing us the pulling and stacking. This is actually a lot more useful when they're actually pulling and stacking a lot of contracts, and a lot more useful on a thinner market where the pulling and stacking is more significant. The line in the middle here is the center line. The center line is on there for people who trade US Treasuries, markets like that, where they're watching more than one dome at the same time, and they're interested in tracking when one market is kind of diverging from the others. So if you start, if you start the day with all three markets lined up, you see one market going up, one market, going down away from the center line. Then you might have a trade on, and then you can recenter at any one time, and then again see if one market's pulling away from that center line more than the others. Now, in terms of trading functionality, we didn't talk about this column here. This column here actually shows you details of orders that you've got placed. So if I placed an order right here, let me just take that off. Probably don't want to be putting orders for 100 contracts out there. If I place an order here, you can see it's a 5L, 5-lot limit order. Put an order up here, it's a 5S, 5-lot stop order. So this column actually shows me what kind of orders I've got placed. If we look at the settings window for a second, we've got various settings, filters, basically to make it work the way you want it to work. We've actually got a lot of display options. You can set all the colors, and then we've actually got display schemes as well. So a display scheme is like a template where you can set up your options the way you like it to work, and then you save that as a display scheme, and then you can use that display scheme on another instance of the depth and sales. We've got shortcut keys as well, which obviously let you set shortcut keys for any of the buttons on the depth and sales. And we've got some trading options. We don't have many trading options right now, but we're building that as we release new versions. The buttons across here, I've got center as the first button. So that will center the center line and center the dome around the center line. With all of the buttons, if you left click a button, it will perform the action for this instance of depth and sales. If you right click, it will perform the action for every open depth and sales. The up and down arrows here are basically used to clear the current trade columns which are in the middle. And the reason you do that, let's just say the market's moved down and I'm now moving back up. You're going to be moving back up into an area that's got a lot of old current trade information. So you might say to yourself, well, as it moves back, I would actually rather see, clear that information above me so I can get a clearer picture of how it's, going up through the, the old levels. So basically what you do is you hit the green arrow and it will clear the trades above. The down arrow will clear trades below. The paintbrush will clear everything. And the dustbin icon will clear everything, including the total split profile here. So if I click that, that one, the split profile will disappear. The exclamation mark will clear all the alerts. And then the toolbar icon will open the settings window. The dollar icon, if it's not already open, it will open the trading window. Now the trading window is the one we use to trade off. So we're going to go into the trading features now. First of all, we can float the trading window anywhere we want it. We can also change it from horizontal to vertical, depending on what you like. You can place a trade through here. You can also place a trade by clicking on the dome. So I can place an order here, place an order here. So you just click the dome. It's a single right click. To cancel an order, you just right click on the order. To move an order, you just click on the price and click to where you're moving it to. Or you can use these buttons up here. So the buttons up here are buy market, sell market. So I can do buy market order there. Buy the ask with the limit order. So that is actually putting a limit order at the inside offer. It's a bit like a buy market order, except with a buy market order, you could slip 3 or 4 prices. With this button, buying the ask, you're saying, I want to buy at this price. And if you don't get a fill there, that's fine. You're not really interested in the order. The same for selling into the bid. And then I can also buy the bid, which means put a limit order at the inside bid, or buy the ask, put a limit order at the inside ask. There is an automatic order type here, and what the automatic order type will do, it's fairly obvious basically. If I wanted to put a buy order at 1598 now, it's not going to be a limit order, it's going to be a stop order, obviously. If I wanted to put an order at 1590.25, it's going to be a limit order. So if you're buying above the market, it'll put a stop order in for you. If you're buying below the market, it'll put a limit order in for you. Or you can take that off and choose the limit, choose the order type yourself. We have quantity buttons here, which set the quantity in this field here, or we can click here for whatever our remaining quantity, remaining order sizes, already position sizes, sorry, and that will be transferred to there. We can also edit these windows, so edit these number buttons, and we can also click to edit an order there. So basically it's a fairly simple, fairly intuitive interface. Doesn't have lots and lots of bells and whistles on it. It just has what you need to do day trading. We have a flat button, which basically cancels all my positions and flattens me. We have Ninja ATM integrated. Let me just put that there. So with the ATM strategies, okay, sell market. Okay. With the ATM strategies, this is something that's built into Ninja. If you put an order on, when you're filled, it will actually put your exit orders on for you. One of the features that we have as well, which is kind of this is one for me. We have an S to P feature, which means move all my stops to a price, and an L to P feature, which means move all my limits to a price. So just let's think about L to P right now. A lot of the time, if your trade's not going against you, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get out with a market order. You might just want to work a limit order at the current price. So but you might have lots of targets. So I might have created a position. I might have 4 exit targets and decide actually it's not going to go my way after all. So I'm going to click L to P and I'll click a price, and it will actually pull all of my limit orders down to that price. And the same for S to P. If I click S to P and click a price, it will bring all my stop orders to that price. Just cancel those. And the other thing I can do is I can do an OCO, which is fairly simple with an OCO. All I do is click OCO, enable it, click in one place, click in another place, and those orders are now linked. So if I cancelled this order, then the other order would be cancelled. So basically that's kind of a potted look at the depth and sales. If you have any questions on that, please send me an email. Give it a go, give it a trial. We have a 14-day refund policy, so you can try it out yourself, no risk. Thanks a lot.